Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Train Your Dog With Me series. I am Traci.
And I am Lindsay, and this is Winnie.
And we're really excited to have you on this journey with us. My name is Traci Madson. I'm a certified professional dog trainer. And in this series, you're going to see an actual in-home training session from start to finish with a new puppy. We're going to talk about all of the basic behaviors, normal puppy problems that you're going to see, like biting, jumping, chewing, desensitizing to sounds, novel things, and it's all going to be as if I were in your own home.
Yes, so I'm Lindsay. I have 3 kids. They're teenage age now, and we've never had a dog before. So I'm so excited to do this with Traci because I have so many questions and we have no idea what we're doing and we're loving her, but we want to make sure we do this all right. So we're excited to take you guys on this journey with us.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Train Your Dog With Me series. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I initially greet clients at the door and how I deal with dogs that jump. We're going to meet Lindsey and Winnie for the first time right now, and I'm going to show you how I initially greet dogs, and we'll just jump right into our first training session. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Come on in.
This must be Winnie.
Yes, this is Winnie.
So if she jumped, good girl.
She's very excited.
Yep. So if she jumps on me, I'm just going to ignore her.
Okay.
But she's got 4 feet on the floor. So I'm going to give her a treat and pet her and give her lots of attention.
Yeah, I think
Good
we need to work on
girl.
that at my
Good
house.
job. So if she jumps, you can just kind of turn your back.
Okay.
Wait for that 4 on the floor. Yes.
Oh,
Good girl.
So you
That's
wanna-
a good
Is it
girl.
important to reward her like as soon as she does it, or
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're going to talk about markers, and I use a clicker or a verbal mark.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. So, oh yes, good girl. So as soon as she's got her 4 feet on the floor, that's when I'm going to mark it and give her either a treat or lots of, dogs jump for attention.
Okay.
So giving them attention when they're not jumping is a
What does
good
mark
reward.
it mean?
So marking a behavior is like capturing that behavior, and either the click or the verbal marker, yes, I use yes,
Okay.
is what tells the dog that that's what they did. That what they did when they heard the click is why they're getting a reward.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we're going to load the clicker in just a second in your living room. But for now, oh, good girl. That's a good girl. But when she's sitting, I always want to catch her doing good behavior. So if she's sitting nicely, instead of ignoring her and waiting for her to jump, I'm going to reward her. Good girl for staying 4 on the floor. So I'm reinforcing this good behavior because she's not jumping. She's just standing. She can sit too once we learn sit. Good girl. But because I'm reinforcing this, she's going to learn that this is what she does to greet people, and this is what's going to get her the treats and the attention.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get on the ground, and so that we are a little bit more level with her. She is going to want to jump up more since we're closer with her. So I'm going to lure her off. Oh yeah, you love that tree bag, don't
She
you?
knows where they are, huh?
Yes, good girl. Good girl. And here's a clicker for you. So what the clicker does is it marks behavior. And it tells the dog that what they did when they heard the click is what's giving them the reward.
Okay.
So the first thing that we have to do is teach her that the click predicts treat.
Okay.
So this you only have to do one time. So I'm just going to do this over and over.
There you go. She's like, I like these sessions.
Yes. This is their favorite game. Because they don't have to do anything. They
Right.
just get the treat for clicking.
Okay. Is that something that you should practice? No,
Nope.
like a one-time thing they just
Yep.
learn it.
And you're going to be training with her with the clicker. So 1 click equals 1 treat. So
Okay.
if somebody accidentally clicks, you still treat.
Okay.
Because you don't want to lose the power of the clicker.
Okay.
So I'm going to mark. So right when her butt hits the ground, I click and then reward.
Okay.
So
Is there ever a concern with like too many treats in a session?
that's why I use these treats because they're low in calorie. You can also use her kibble. And ideally, yes, good girl. Ideally, you're going to be just doing 10 to 15 minute training sessions twice a day.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty short. So she's not going to be getting a ton of treats.
Okay. Oh, another question. If my kids want to be involved, is it better to just be one-on-one as opposed to like, you do it, now you do it, now you do it? You know?
It's actually good for all the kids to participate so everybody's on the same page. If you have young kids that love to do the clicker, I would have the adults do the clicker and let the kids do the treat.
Okay.
So,
good girl.
and I'm trying to mark it like when her butt hits and not when she's jumping up.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is something called luring. So I'm going to toss a treat to get her to stand up. And then I'm going to take a treat and put it above her head. And then as soon as her butt hits the ground, I click.
Okay.
And we're going to call this sit. I haven't named it yet because I want to teach it to her first. Because if you've ever heard people say, sit, 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 sit.
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah.
I think we've made all the mistakes in the last 2 weeks.
Everybody does. And it's because we want the dog to learn what sit is before we name it. So that they don't learn to like tune you out. So I'm going to toss a treat again. Here, look. What's that?
She's like losing it in the carpet.
And then I'm going to lure her. Good girl. That's so good.
Good girl.
I'm going to toss.
It's like, you are my new best friend.
So now I'm going to name it while I lure. Winnie, sit. Yes. So the marker can be the click. I also use a verbal marker in case I don't have my clicker, and I use yes. And I do it really quick and upbeat. So it's like, yes. And that means the same thing.
Okay.
But I like this. The sound of the clicker is like a really distinct sound.
Yeah.
And the way that I like to explain it to humans is if you watch game shows, let's say that you're watching Jeopardy and somebody gets the right answer. And so Alex Trebek says, you got it right, good job. And they're like, oh, cool, I got it right.
Yeah.
Versus they get the right answer and you hear that ding, 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 ding. And then they're like, oh yeah, I just heard the ding, I got it right.
Yeah, yeah.
So it kind of releases the good endorphins in the dog's brain.
That's cool.
So if I'm teaching something new or we're doing a training session, I will use the clicker. But you'll also hear me click and say yes, because I do use yes if I don't have a clicker. Because I don't ever want to lose an opportunity to train.
Okay.
So, Winnie, sit. Okay, this is good. So if she doesn't do it, I'm not going to say it again. I'm going to give her a second to do it. And then I'll just say, okay, we'll just try again. We'll try again.
Just kind of move on. Okay.
So I don't say it again. I'll give her a second, and then we'll try it again.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, there
Good
we go.
job.
Good girl.
So you always want to go at the pace of the dog and let them figure it out. And I've had to learn to be really patient and like give them time to figure out, okay, what is it that she wants?
Yeah.
And then I'm ready with the clicker.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to toss one just to
getting her up and moving.
Just to get her up.
Okay.
And we'll play the name game too in a sec. Winnie.
She's like, what was that you threw?
Yes. Good girl.
Good girl.
Good job.
Good girl, Winnie. Good girl, Winnie.
Sit. Yes. Good job. Good job. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, and I'll let you practice these in a second, is what's called the name game. She probably already knows her name, but we want to always associate her name with positive. And again, we want to only say her name one time. So I'm going to kind of toss a treat to get her distracted over there. Look, over here. What's this? Winnie. Yes. So as soon as she turns to look at me, I click and treat.
Okay.
So that she learns that when she responds to me, she gets the reward. Winnie. Yes. Good girl. Now, let's say she doesn't look at me. Then instead of saying her name again, I'll like, yes, make noises. to get her attention, to kind of give her, another shot at getting a reward. But I want to try to avoid, calling her name 2 and 3 times. Otherwise, dogs learn, oh, I don't have to pay attention until I hear my name 4 times.
Gotcha.
So
just like kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just kind of like when my mom would tell me to clean my room. She had to tell me 5 times.
Right, exactly.
So I'm going to toss a treat. Winnie. Yes. Good girl. You're so smart.
Good girl.
So yeah, I love these treats because they're small in size. They're low calorie. You can also use kibble. You can count out some pieces of her kibble and use it throughout the day to catch her doing good things.
Oh, okay.
So like, if you're cooking and she's laying calmly at your feet or she's sitting for attention, you can reward her for that. And a reinforcer, yes, is anything the dog likes. So it can be treats, it can be praise, affection, throw the ball.
Okay.
Anything that's reinforcing for a dog you can use. So let's say that I don't have a clicker or treats.
Yeah, like let's say you're in your bathroom or your bedroom or something.
Winnie, yes, good girl. Oh, look how smart you are. What a good girl.
Oh, okay.
So I mark it with the verbal. So I still did the yes and gave her tons of praise and affection.
Okay.
Because that's rewarding for her as well. So as a family, you guys can play the name game and like sit in a circle and call her name. And
that's fun.
And then as soon as she, look, find it. Where is it? Winnie, yes. Good job. Good girl.
So a training session just kind of looks like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be, especially for this age, we only want it to be like 10 or 15 minutes twice a day. But then throughout the day, you can catch her doing things you like and reinforce it.
Okay.
The nice thing about the marker is, so I'm luring her off of me and then I'm rewarding her. So one way that we teach dogs things that we want them to do is by luring, which is what I did with the hand. So I'm luring her head up and then her butt goes down.
Okay.
We also use what's called shaping, which we'll probably do another week, and capturing.
Okay.
So shaping is where you break something down into small pieces, and capturing is where you just wait until they do it and then mark it and reward it.
Okay.
So any behavior that is reinforced will continue, which is why one of my dogs still jumps, because she gets reinforced for it all the time because people always, yes, they give her attention.
That's got to be tricky with like visitors and stuff. Huh?
Yeah. So usually I have to tell people, like, if my dog jumps on you, please turn your back. And then I step in and ask for a sit. And then when the dog's sitting, then I say, okay, now you can give her attention. Now pet her, give her treats, praise her. So she learns that if I jump, I get ignored. But if I sit nicely like this, then I get tons of attention.
Does it take them a long time to learn this kind of stuff?
No. Nope.
Cool.
It just takes consistency. So everybody practicing it.
Right.
And it's important that everybody in the home is on the same page. Just because if one person allows the dog to jump, then the dog gets confused. Like, why can I jump on them but not them?
Yeah.
So it's like everybody has to be on the same page.
Okay. That makes sense.
So behaviors that are reinforced are going to continue. And we have positive and negative. You don't have to worry about the negative right now. But
I know what's
Winnie.
there.
So positive means we're going to add something, and negative means we take something away.
Okay.
So with positive reinforcement, I am reinforcing with treats, praise, affection, behaviors that I like, because I want them to continue. Negative punishment, when we punish a behavior, that means we don't want it to continue. There's positive and negative. So negative means we take something away. So an example of negative punishment would be when she jumps, you turn your back. So you're taking your attention away. And you can do that if she gets bitey too. Like if she starts chewing on you or biting too much.
Is that, if we're just like playing with her and she rolls on her back and we're just kind of messing around and she's kind of chewing, but it's not very hard, is that a bad thing?
I do that with my dogs. It kind of depends on, what you want your rules to be. Puppies are going to chew because that's how they play with other dogs in their litter. And it's a good way to learn bite inhibition. So if she bites too hard, you can say, oh, too hard, and just lift your hands up and stop playing.
Oh, okay.
So that's like the negative punishment. You're
Yeah.
taking away your attention. You're stopping the play because you don't want her to bite.
Yeah.
Same with when, if she demand barks, I ignore her. I take away my attention so that barking doesn't get reinforced. Winnie, good girl.
Yeah, because a lot of times we'll be playing and she doesn't even bite very hard. She just kind of like, like she kind of quivers like that, and we just kind of keep playing with her. But then if she's pretty rambunctious, it'll get a little harder.
Yep. So with biting, it is important for puppies to learn bite inhibition, which means how hard they can bite. So if they start to bite too hard, then the first time I'll just too hard, and then I'll redirect to a toy, like a rope toy.
Okay, that's kind of what we've been doing. We have one of those little rope things.
Yep. And then if she bites again and you can't redirect her in with a toy, then you can calmly pick her up, put her in her crate with a toy, because we don't want the crate to be negative.
Okay, right.
So put her in the crate with the toy and let her take like a 1 to 2 minute timeout.
Okay, that's interesting, because I've been hearing that you don't want the crate to be a punishment, but putting in there with the toy makes it so it doesn't feel like that.
Right.
Okay.
Anything chew. So I give my dogs like yak chews. They love the turbo tendons, so they go in there with them, a stuffed Kong. So it's not a punishment. And then you can usually, like in puppy class, if 2 dogs get too rambunctious and we do a timeout, it's for like 1 minute, just to let them decompress. And then if you let her out and she bites a 3rd time, then calmly put her back in the crate, cover the crate, and let her have a nap.
Okay.
So it's kind of like kids.
By letting her have a nap, that seems easier said than done.
Yeah. So you just have to kind of ignore her.
Okay.
And
if she's barking, and for how long?
Yep. I would leave her in for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and let her really chill, and she'll eventually go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when kids are tired and they're just so rowdy right before they crash, it's kind of like that.
Okay.
And the strike 3 is to give you a break too. Like to give the humans a break from the biting and redirecting and everything else.
Okay. Now, what if just stopping the play? Because she never really bites unless we're down playing, like roughhousing. So would that still warrant like a timeout? Or if we just stop the play?
Yeah, if you just stop the play and she stops biting, then she's fine.
Okay.
This is like more for those chronic biters that keep coming back and coming back and coming back.
Following you around and just biting at your feet.
Yes, biting your clothes and biting everything else.
Okay, cool. That makes sense.
And as you're following along in these episodes, make sure that you check out the episode details for important links to handouts, articles, and other really important things that will help you on this puppy training journey.